Shalom Aleichem. When is the last time you really looked at yourself in the mirror? In a deep way, not in a superficial way, a deep way. This is one of the questions which arises from our parasha. In Vayakhel, the Jewish people come together to construct the Mishkan in the wake of the sin of Chet Egel. And one of the more bizarre and intriguing objects in the Mishkan is the kior, the washing basin, which the Kohanim would use to purify themselves on a daily basis. And the Torah tells us, Vayas et hakior nachoshet et kanon nachoshet b'marot hatzoveot. The washing basin was made out of copper, not just any copper. It was copper that came from mirrors that the Jewish women used to use in Mitzrayim to beautify themselves before their husbands. Why this specific material to construct the washing basin in the Mishkan? This is a very vain symbol. In fact, we're told that when it comes to mirrors, and when it comes to davening and Avodat Hashem, the Shulchan Aruch teaches us in Siman Kaf Gimel, you're not supposed to daven in front of a mirror. It will look like you're davening to your own image. Remember the myth of Narcissus? Narcissus sees his own image, falls in love with himself, and loses himself in his own image. So why would we have mirrors in the Beit HaMikdash of all places? And I want to share with you a beautiful explanation. That before the Kohanim go and purify themselves physically, they also need to cleanse themselves spiritually. They need to look in the mirror and look at themselves and say, not to beautify their hair or comb their hair or look at their skin or whatever it is. Look at themselves and say, am I truly worthy of standing as an Eved Hashem in the Mishkan and serving the Jewish people? Am I truly worthy of this? And when they thought about this, they become more humble and more modest and truly worthy of standing before Hashem in the Mishkan. And this also has an interpersonal meaning as well, because so often we look at other people's flaws. We know the Torah tells us, "Ein adam ro'et nig'ei." We don't usually see our own flaws; we only see somebody else's. But the Maggid of Mezrich, one of the great Hasidic thinkers, tells us, based on this idea, that when you look at your friends, look at them as a mirror towards you. Whatever flaws you see in them reflects back at us. And the same thing is true for the Kohanim. When they looked at the mirror, it wasn't to beautify themselves, but it was to cleanse themselves spiritually. And all of us, when we wake up in the morning and we're brushing our teeth and looking at the mirror in our bathroom, we should look at ourselves and make sure that we're ready for the day physically and that we're tidy. But also we should look and take a deeper look spiritually and do some introspection and say, are we where we really want to be? Are we living up to our true image, our true spiritual potential? And Rabotai, I think this has an important lesson for us as a people today. There's so much polarization and divisiveness in our society today. It's very sad to see. And we're hoping and praying for unity. But some of this unity can only come about when every side looks at themselves in the mirror and says, hey, what can I work on? What can I improve? How can I improve my language? How can I improve the way I see others? How could I see my own nigaim, my own things, my own inflictions, and not just look at what's wrong with the other side? And so this is a message with personal import, but also national import as well. And Bezrat Hashem, when we look in the mirror, we should use that for self-growth on a daily basis. Yom Tov, v'Shabbat Shalom l'kula.